Our goal is to break the power of the mob in America and nothing short of it. We mean to end their profits, imprison their members, and cripple their organization. Imprison their members and cripple their organization. Cripple their organization. Imprison their members. Our goal, break the power of the mob. Our goal is to break the power of the mob in America and nothing short of it. We mean to end their profits, imprison their members, and cripple their organization. Imprison their members and cripple their organization. Cripple their organization. Imprison their members. Our goal, break the power of the mob. Our goal is to break the power of the mob in America and nothing short of it. We mean to end their profits, imprison their members, and cripple their organization. Imprison their members and cripple their organization. Cripple their organization. Imprison their members. Our goal, break the power of the mob. Our goal is to break the power of the mob in America and nothing short of it. We mean to end their profits, imprison their members, and cripple their organization. Imprison their members and cripple their organization. Cripple their organization. Imprison their members. Our goal, break the power of the mob. Our goal is to break the power of the mob in America and nothing short of it. We mean to end their profits, imprison their members, and cripple their organization. Imprison their members and cripple their organization. Cripple their organization. Imprison their members. Our goal, break the power of the mob. Our goal is to break the power of the mob in America and nothing short of it. We mean to end their profits, imprison their members, and cripple their organization. Imprison their members and cripple their organization. Cripple their organization. Imprison their members.
Join if you want to watch the playback. And thank you again.
Our goal,
Woo, woo, woo.
break the power of the
I messed
mob.
up here. It went a little long on you guys, huh? Almost 10 whole minutes. Sorry about that. Fell off a little bit. Usually I only make you wait 5 minutes, but I made you wait 10 today. So, be happy. So, here's what we are talking about today. If you didn't notice, it's about you fake-ass El Chapo dudes. Why do I want to talk about you fake ass El Chapo dudes? Well, I was having a conversation today with someone, and they were talking about a lot of people, places, and things having concerns with illegal money transactions or money laundering. And then I also took it personally because I hear all too often too many young black men that I deal with who are quote unquote trap gods and all this and I'm hustling the trap, I'm a boss, I'm moving kilos, even though they don't even know what a kilo looks like. But I digress. Let's take a look here at something in the New York Times. What the heck is this? This is not my article. Okay, I need to click the back button. Apparently my article went away. So if you'll see my article here. New hiding place for drug profits. Insurance policies. I love they keep trying to sell me the New York Times. So it says here, law enforcement officials said today that Colombian cocaine traffickers seeking to launder tens of millions in drug profits from the United States and Mexico had begun exploiting an unlikely haven, life insurance policies. Yet I, a nigga from the hood, talked to many niggas from the hood who supposedly do their thing, some of them with me. Meanwhile, and when I speak to them about life insurance or annuities, they seem to think it's a waste of money. Yet I know for a goddamn good, well, truth, none of you niggas got tens of millions of dollars. So if something like the Colombian cocaine cartel, which has tens of millions of dollars, understands that life insurance is probably a good thing for them to get into, what the fuck is wrong with you Negroes? Oh, you ain't really getting it. That's what it is. Officials at the Treasury Department said that they were so worried about the trend that they were pushing for tougher regulation of the insurance industry as a way of identifying suspicious insurance policies. A central concern for the authorities is that terrorist financiers, too, may seek to exploit vulnerabilities in the insurance industry to launder money for their operations. A federal grand jury indictment brought today in Miami highlighted the phenomenon. In it, the authorities charged that 5 Colombians took part in an elaborate scheme to launder millions in cocaine profits, originating from street sales in New York City, Florida, and elsewhere. Oh, FYI, hold on. The first place I started selling life insurance was New York City. I currently live in Connecticut. I'm licensed in 5 other states. Many of these states I've been in, I see a lot of black guys who sell drugs. And none of these niggas have life insurance because they think it's a waste of money. But none of these niggas are making tens of millions of dollars. American law enforcement officials say Colombia has indicated that it will extradite the 5 suspects to the United States to stand trial. Oh, this is an article from 2002, by the way. Drug traffickers often use bank deposits, wire transfers, and other financial mechanisms to disguise the source of their revenues. But officials at the Customs Service said the current case was the first in which a major trafficking ring has been known to use insurance policies to cover its financial traps. In interviews and court documents, law enforcement officials at the Customs Service said that in recent years, brokers connected to the Cali drug cartel in Colombia had bought insurance policies in the Isle of Man and other British islands, as well as perhaps Florida and other locations, one being New York City, to launder more than $80 million. I recall black people going crazy recently over a trap in Atlanta, and they recovered $8 million. Now, this was like 12 niggas. in Atlanta, and they recovered 1/10 of this laundered money, which if it's $80 million clean, usually when you're laundering money, you put in $100 dirty to get out 50 clean. So if they got 80 million clean, that means they likely put in 160 million dirty, aka 20 times more than when black people were like, damn, them niggas was doing it. They had $8 million. Using drug proceeds from the United States and Mexico, the suspects opened some 250 different investment grade. You see what that says? Investment grade life insurance. So the point of life insurance is to sit down with the motherfucker and find out what they offer instead of thinking because you see a commercial for $250,000 at $14 a month that that's what the fuck it is, because it's not. Excuse my language. Let's see. The Isle of Man, let's see. So, accounts in the Isle of Man alone. Investigators said the insurance policies, worth as much as $1.9 million each, were sometimes taken out in the names of nieces, nephews, and other relatives of the traffickers, investigators said. The traffickers would typically cash out all or part of the Isle of Man policies prematurely after a year or so, paying penalties of 25% or more to get access to the laundered cash more quickly, investigators said. Customs service officials have seized $9.5 million in Florida in connection with the case. Most of it in the last 3 weeks, officials said. They expect to seize more assets and bring more charges against others they accuse of involvement in the operation, and they are closely scrutinizing a South Florida insurance company to determine its role. This has opened our eyes, said John Clark, special agent in charge of the Customs Service Miami office, which led to the investigation. We think this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is a system that seems to have been used and abused by narcotics traffickers for years. Officials in Colombia have also seized $20 million there and in Panama in connection with the money laundering operation. They arrested at least 9 people in the case last month, including 3 of the 5 defendants charged today in Miami. Another Colombian wanted in the case, is thought to be at large in California. Those indicted today in Miami on conspiracy and money laundering charges were Rodrigo Jose Murillo and his son Alexander Murillo, who investigators say were active on the drug trafficking side of the operation. Jaime Eduardo Rey Albornoz and Arturo Delgado, who investigators say brokered the transactions, and their assistant, Esperanza Romero. The indictment seeks the forfeiture of $2.1 million that the authorities say the defendants laundered through banks and insurance companies. The case was brought in Florida because some of the money passed through companies in the state, and because the laundering investigations grew out of a major drug trafficking case there in the early 1990s. The case led to the seizure of 4,700 kilos of cocaine, distributed by the Cali cartel and others. In the last several years, it has also led investigators to develop high-level informers in the trafficking industry. These sources indicated that much of the cartel's money was winding its way into the Isle of Man, investigators said. The Customs Service started the financial spin-off of its 1990s case in early 2001, working closely with its counterparts in Colombia, Panama, Britain, and the Isle of Man. Officials in the Isle of Man, a hub for global insurance companies, were eager to cooperate, American officials said. After concerns were raised in recent years about whether the island's oversight of the industry was too lax, the officials wanted to put that to rest by cooperating and to show that they weren't a money laundering haven, said Anthony Arrico, Assistant Special Agent in charge in Miami for the Customs Service. Isle of Man officials said today that they had instituted new safeguards against criminal use of their cooperations to launder money. But they acknowledged that the high volume of global business in the territory made it an attractive target for launderers. In the current case, investigators pulled together information from financial transactions as far away as Russia, using informants' wiretaps and undercover operations to trace the money trail, officials said. In New York City, undercover and customs investigators acted as go-betweens, funneling cash from local street sales and forwarding it to the Isle of Man through checks or wire transfers to buy life insurance policies, officials said. Hello, sir. How are you? And hello, sir. How are you? Undercover agents also got the word out to drug dealers that for a fee, they would accept and launder large amounts of cash. According to a seizure warrant filed in federal court in New York in connection with the case, dealers would drop off large sums of cash, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars, and direct the undercover agents to wire the money to banks and insurance companies around the world, the warrant said. American officials said that Mr. Albornoz and Mr. Delgado who each owned financial transaction businesses in Colombia, were the master brokers who oversaw the insurance scheme. Colombian officials said Mr. Albornoz even organized conferences on money laundering for insurance companies and financial institutions around the world. The case just underscores the clever and crafty schemes that drug traffickers and terrorists are capable of conceiving to move their money, said Rob Nichols, a spokesman for the Treasury Department. The department proposed in September that insurance companies be required to adopt programs to better detect accounts opened expressly to hide illegal revenues. So I was actually talking to some financial friends of mine, and they know about the regulatory authorities, the SEC, FINRA, FinCEN, etc. And the AML laws are anti-money laundering laws that came into place because, unfortunately, too many folks didn't get the picture. So, the department officials said the investigation in Colombia was a driving force in the still pending proposals, which have met with general support from many insurance groups. Mr. Clark of the Customs Service said if the insurance companies were subject to the same type of rigorous reporting and monitoring requirements as banks, the authorities would have been able to detect some of the suspicious tactics used by the Colombian money launderers. Bear with me, I'm getting a dry mouth from reading. Let me just take a sip of water. Insurance companies might have reported, for instance, that policyholders were authorizing unrelated third parties to withdraw money from their accounts or were frequently cashing out their policies early, he said. The proposed restrictions, he said, would help the authorities spot the type of irregular flow of money that we were seeing here. So that's the end of that article. And if I can share with you, I want to send you one more article. And this is from a police blotter. And again, this is also about, this is law enforcement classes. So this is archives from the U.S. Department of State of law enforcement cases. If you'll see, they had a bulk cash smuggling seizure in 2002. Attorney receiving drug proceeds through trust bank accounts. And the big one here, BMPE, life insurance, undercover operation and international cooperation. So Operation Capstone, which is what I just read to you about, exposed a sophisticated criminal scheme that targeted life insurance companies in the United States, the Isle of Man, and other locations, where some $80 million worth of Colombian drug proceeds had been laundered over the past few years. This 2-year multinational investigation involving the Bureau of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, the Isle of Man Custom and Excise Service, and Colombia's Department of Administrative Seguridad, or Department of Security Administration, revealed that Colombian drug trafficking organizations, through a small number of insurance brokers, were purchasing investment-grade life insurance policies in the United States, the Isle of Man, and other locations, with cartel associates as the beneficiary. These policies were funded with tens of millions of dollars worth of drug proceeds sent in the form of checks and wire transfers to insurance companies by third parties around the globe. When a company receives payments for its products or services in the form of a wire transfer, check, or cash from random third parties who have no connection to the transaction, it is a clear signal that money is being laundered by drug traffickers via the insidious black market peso exchange. Once an investment-grade life insurance policy is created, customers can overfund the policy beyond its face value and make early withdrawals. You know what? I'm not even going to do this anymore because I've been busy trying to explain to people how you can overfund an early withdrawal life insurance policy even with $100 a month. And so many Negroes fight back thinking $100 a month is too much, but we'll spend $300, $400, $500 on a Gucci belt. Anyway, it's Saturday. I didn't even intend on really coming on until I spoke to some brothers about some important things. So the next video, which will probably be early on tomorrow, I'm going to show you guys what overfunding an IUL, or Index Universal Life Insurance policy, looks like. This policy will only be overfunded by $700 a year. So basically, I'm going to show you a person who pays $1,200 a year or $100 a month on their life insurance, and how they're only going to overfund it. So they're going to pay, instead of $1,200, $1,900. And they're still going to beat up their cash value, overfund their policy, and be able to access cash that you can't get anywhere else. With that being said, peace, power, I'm out.
Our goal is to break the power of the mob in America and nothing short of it. We mean to end their profits,
Imprison their members, and cripple their organization.
imprison their members, and cripple their organization.